All right, let's jump right in. We're going to get into the real nuts and bolts of how businesses run today. We're talking about two massive forces, outsourcing and e-business. They're full of opportunity, but man, they're also packed with hidden risks. So let's break it all down. Okay, let's kick things off with something well, it'll definitely get your attention. Check out this stat. For a full 25% of businesses, a big data loss isn't just a bad day at the office. It's game over. They never reopen. That's the world we're in now. Managing digital risk isn't just a good idea. It's literally about survival. So you might be asking, how does anyone even succeed with stakes that high? Well, it usually comes down to two big strategies. First, companies team up with specialists all over the world to handle certain jobs. You know it as outsourcing. And second, they dive headfirst into the digital marketplace, which is what we call e-business. We're going to tackle both, but let's start with what I like to call the outsourcing gamble. And yeah, I'm calling it a gamble because that's exactly what it is. Business process outsourcing, or BPO for short, is a huge strategic bet. You're putting your chips on an outside partner to do a job better, faster, or cheaper than you can. And look, when that bet pays off, it's amazing. But if you lose, the fallout can be, well, it can be pretty catastrophic. So, what are we really talking about with BPO? Simple. It's when a company pays another company to handle one of its essential, but maybe not core, functions. A classic example, a bank hiring an outside firm to run its customer service call center. It's a huge act of trust, right? You're basically handing someone the keys to a whole wing of your house and just hoping they don't mess things up. So what could go wrong? Well, the second your sensitive info, we're talking customer names, employee files, you name it, walks out your digital door, you lost some control. And that's where the danger is. We're worried about huge data breaches happening on their watch. Maybe their employees poking around where they shouldn't be, or even them breaking some compliance rule that, guess what, you're still on the hook for. Okay, so how do you protect yourself? You don't just cross your fingers, you build a fortress of legal paperwork. The two big ones you absolutely need to know are the SLA and the DPA. Think of the SLA, the service level agreement, as the performance contract. It says how well they have to do the job. But the DPA, the data protection agreement, is the security rulebook. It lays down the law on how securely they have to handle your precious data. These are your non-negotiables. And this brings me to the most critical point. Before you sign anything, I mean anything, you have got to do your homework. A deep dive vendor risk assessment isn't optional, it's essential. You need to get under the hood, look at their security setups, read their policies, check for certifications like ISO 27001. You need to be 100% sure they can actually protect your stuff. But locking down your partners is only one piece of the puzzle. Now you've got to deal with the wild world of your customers. All right, let's switch gears. We've talked about your partners. Now let's talk about your customers and where you meet them in the digital world. I call it the e-business maze because honestly, it's complicated. It's always shifting, but man, if you can figure out how to get through it, the rewards are just massive. And when I say e-business, I mean way more than just having a website that sells stuff. It's about weaving digital tools into the very fabric of your company. It has totally changed the game for everything, from how we get those spooky accurate product recommendations online to doing all our banking on an app, all the way to how massive companies manage their global supply chains. And this maze, it just keeps getting bigger and crazier. We're already seeing AI chatbots that answer questions instantly. We've got augmented reality letting you see how a couch looks in your living room before you buy it. People are starting to buy things in the metaverse, and you can just tell your voice assistant to order you a pizza. I mean, the possibilities here they're pretty mind-blowing. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? This amazing, exciting new frontier is also a minefield. It turns out the exact same things that create all this opportunity, being connected 24/7, shipping things globally, they also create a whole new set of massive headaches for businesses. I mean, just think about the core problem. On one hand, your customers want everything to be super fast, super easy, with one-click ordering and simple returns. To do that, you need their data. But on the other hand, there are hackers working around the clock, relentlessly trying to steal that exact same data. It's this incredible balancing act, right? You're trying to deliver this amazing experience while also building Fort Knox around their information. And out of all those challenges, there's one that is, without a doubt, the most important. In the world of e-business, trust is everything. It's your most valuable asset. And that trust is built on one single promise:
We will protect your data. If you break that promise, it's not just about losing money. You can destroy your reputation, maybe for good. So we've got outsourcing risks over here, e-business challenges over there. How in the world do you defend against all of this at once? The answer isn't some magic piece of software you can buy. It's a mindset, it's a process, it's a strategic shield for your entire company called risk management. At the end of the day, risk management is just a structured way of thinking about what could go wrong. It's a process. You figure out what's most valuable to you, your crown jewels, then you figure out who might want to take them, and then you build smart defenses to stop them. It's what connects all the techie security stuff back to what the business actually cares about. And please, remember this. This is not a set it and forget it kind of thing. It's a loop. It never stops. You start by figuring out what you need to protect, you size up the risks, then you start building your defenses in layers. You've got your technical stuff like firewalls. You've got administrative stuff like training your people not to click on weird links. And you've even got physical controls, like a good old-fashioned lock on the server room door. And the most important step? You watch, you monitor, you audit, you review, because the bad guys are always changing their tactics. It also really helps to know who's responsible for what. You can break it down into two big ideas: governance and management. Think of security governance as the why and the what. That's the high-level strategy. It comes from the executives, they set the rules and the goals. Then you have security management. That's the how. That's the IT and security teams in the trenches, actually building the defenses and fighting the fires when things go wrong. You absolutely need both to work together. Okay, that was a lot to cover. We talked about the dangers and how to defend against them. So let's boil it all down to the key things you really need to remember. So here are your takeaways. Number 1, BPO can be amazing for your efficiency, but you have to treat it like a serious partnership. That means doing tough vendor assessments and having rock-solid legal agreements like SLAs and DPAs. Number 2, e-business is your ticket to growth, but it comes with one golden rule. Protect your customers' data as if your business depends on it, because it does. And finally, number 3, risk management is the glue that holds all of this together. It's not some IT thing, it's a core business strategy that lets you navigate this whole digital frontier without getting burned. So I'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. Pretty much every company these days is a digital company, right? That means all these risks we've talked about aren't just theory, they are very real, and they are happening right now. Your business runs on digital, your partnerships are digital, your customers are digital. So the big question you have to ask yourself is your defense digital too?